Hi there, this is Kathy Aldis. Um, what I'd like to say is obviously if you're watching the essential induction, it means you've moved on to session 2 now because you've already had a look at session 1. So I introduced myself then, you kind of probably know who I am, but welcome to Global Choices Essential Induction Training, which is designed to give you all that you need so that you can grow your business by growing your own skills, your confidence, and getting to grips with really what you've got your hands on. Now, last week on the last session, could have been you watched it this morning or this evening or yesterday. On that first session, we really looked at getting to grips with understanding, the products, using the products, understanding the industry that we're in, understanding the company, which is obviously Forever Living Products. We looked at really the basics of getting to grips with moving yourself forward. If you're like me and most people, you've come into the business without any prior experience and haven't done anything like this before. So session 1 was the basis of where we need to start. In session 2, we're now going to start looking at, just turn the screen over, we're going to start looking at really the team building side. As I say, last week we looked at products and ourselves and understanding, the things that we need to get our head around in essential reading and listening with business materials. Let's have a look at sponsoring this week, or on this session rather. So the difference between a small retail income and a huge significant, or what you might term as a life-changing income, is by building a team. Now, I don't say that facetiously. There's nothing wrong with people coming into the business and just wanting a small retail income. There's everything right with it. We all need to have a customer base. However, some people choose to have their customer base, use the products themselves, have a customer base, and then go on to build a team. So that's what I mean by watering the money tree. And we talked a bit about last week how network marketing is front loaded. You can put the work in the early days, and you can build an organisation that's going to give you an income for life. And we're going to talk about that as we go through this session. So you are your shop. Now, we talked last session. Sorry, I keep saying last week. I'm used to running these on a weekly basis. Forgetting that now that I'm just uploading them onto the training pod. So on the last session, we talked about getting your products out there and having your own product testimony. And we're just going to recap there because we are our own shop, so to speak. So in the beginning, I was I don't know that you can be too enthusiastic, but when I opened my mouth, I used to kind of throw up. I had what's called aloe mouth. I used to throw up on everybody, and anybody who just looked in my direction, I would be telling them about it. Obviously, we need to have enthusiasm where our business is concerned, and we need to have confidence with the products. Again, if you've gone through the retailing web, you'll understand that we help people focus on certain products to begin with, so we don't have to be an expert in everything, but we do need to open our mouth, start talking to people so that we can conversationally market our products and our business. Part of that is sharing your testimony, not only your product one, but your business one. There is a saying in the business, facts tell, stories sell. We all like to get hooked into a good tale. Now, when I say story, I mean true one. I'm not talking about a made-up fairy story. When we're talking about a testimony, business or product one, and again, we do a lot of this on the Power Hour. We know that when we're talking about a story, it's our true story, why we're in the business or what's my favourite product. Also, when recommending the products on, and I still, 9 years later, use this to this day because it gives me a lot of confidence. I can speak to people about the products and I can explain we have a money back guarantee. So when somebody's wanting to try something and they're a bit unsure, perhaps they've never heard of it or they didn't know you could drink aloe or they're not sure if it's going to work for them, it's a win-win situation because we can say to our customers that Forever really put their money where their mouth is and they guarantee the products. Also, when you've got friends, family and regular customers using the products, ask for referrals. Who let's say Aunt Susie's using the heat lotion because she's got a creaky back or her knees are a bit achy. Ask her who does she know that could benefit from the same or similar products. So referrals is a great way when you're starting off. and you've only got a handful of customers, it's a great way of turning a handful of customers into a couple of handfuls of customers. So the magic of duplication, I said that you can, by watering the money tree, i.e. getting very skilled at coaching and developing people, you can build up a team. So here on the screen there, we're not going to go into the marketing plan per se. You'll have done a bit of that when you got started, and certainly with your upline manager or your sponsor, you'll be working away to understand the marketing plan. Got a really simple explanation on the screen there. Let's say that's you in the middle there, and this is you at manager position. If you have a look, there's 30 people in that team there. There's 5 of them attached to you in the blue. So that's your 5 frontline people, your key people. You will have more than 5 people in your team, I guarantee. It's not the first 5 you sponsor that go on to do something. It might well be, but generally you'll have a lot more than 5 people in your team. Some of them just coming in to use the products, some perhaps not interested at that point, a particular point in building a team themselves. They're valuable retailers. But these are your 5 key people. 30 people in a team doing 4 CCs each. Multiply 30 by 4 and you get 120. And that's what it takes to become a manager. 120 case credits over any 2 consecutive months. Now on the bottom left there it says £800 to £2,000 a month. Why such a big difference? Well, a newly qualified manager, in my experience, been in the business 9 years and we have lots of managers within the group, my experience in newly qualified managers generally round about the 12 to 1500 mark, and then building it upon that as they get more steady and stable within the business. So you might have a very small manager business at the £800 to £1,000 mark, but again, as I say, in my experience, it's usually a bit more than that. I can remember our first manager check when we qualified all those years ago, £1,434. So that falls within what I would say is the average. So the business, when you're building a team, it's about duplicating. It's about doing income-producing activities that you can show other people how to do. Now, we said that network marketing can be front-loaded in the fact that you can put the work in the early days and you can get paid forever more. That's a royalty-style income. Now, again, if you're working through their first steps to manager and you've already looked at the marketing plan, you'll get to understand that when you become a manager, your role, or your job, if you like, from there on in, is to help develop other people and help them go up the marketing plan. And when you become a manager, I guarantee you will have people hanging on to your coattails wanting to move ahead themselves. So building a royalty style income, it means that when you've got managers who are frontline to you and they're not managing their own team, they're coaching and developing their own organisation, Forever's going to pay you a royalty style income. Again, I'm not going into the marketing plan here. This is an overview and an induction series, and the marketing plan is something separate. But suffice to say that when you build a royalty income, it's a bit like having a pension, but it's different in the fact that you're not putting actual money into your royalty to get this pension style income month after month for the rest of your life. What you're actually doing is you're putting your time, your effort and your skill in helping other people. The other difference, if we're comparing this to a traditional pension, is not only are you not putting money in, you don't have to wait till you're, I don't know, is it 65, 67, 120, whatever it is now. You don't have to wait till official retirement age to access this. It's once you become a manager, and then as soon as you start developing another manager in your team. So for example, let's say you've just developed your first manager, your royalty income on an average manager-sized business, it can be anything from around about 900,000 upwards, especially if and it could be a lot more if that's a really good, strong manager leg. What happens when you develop manager 2? Exactly the same. You get paid an additional royalty stream. Same with 3, 4, 5. You can go on to have as many managers as you want. So again, if you look at the marketing plan, you'll understand that once you get past manager, the senior manager, soaring manager, sapphire, diamond, that's all to do with the number of managers you've got. So just know that you can put the work and the effort in the early days and you can build up this royalty income, which is for life. It's certainly what attracted me to want to get to grips with the business and to do this. And we've certainly built up a really great royalty income as time has gone by. I was worried previously I was in health service as a nurse, and I was a bit worried or concerned that my health service pension wouldn't be up to much. It's no longer a concern, obviously, because forever give that royalty income. Is it money for old rope? No, you will put a lot of blood, sweat and tears into developing people. But you know what? If you came into the business to lead a team, that's part and parcel of it. It can be very challenging, but it can be really, really very rewarding to helping other people develop. And also it can be grateful along the way. So what do we need to do to start building a team? Well, first of all, we need a database. Every business, it doesn't matter what the business is, whether it's a product or service, traditional business or network marketing, any business needs a target audience, i.e. a database, so that they can raise awareness of their business. Now, in your First Steps to Manager book, I'll keep referring to that. It's your Bible for your first 6 months or till you get a manager. There's a few pages in there where you can scan them and run them off and put them in a file where you can start your who do you know list. And you know what? We all know a lot more people than we think. Let me tell you the error of my ways in the beginning when I started writing my database. I put down around about 25 or 30 people who I thought would be interested. Of course, building a database is not about putting down the people who you think will. It's about putting down the people that you know. We're going to talk about building that in just a second, but I use the word amateurs not in a rude sense or to be personal, but you know, when we all start off in the business, we could say, as Eric Wallace is, who's a great network marketing trainer, we can start off as an amateur in this business because we're just learning it. What we want to quickly do is go from amateur to professional. And if you're working closely with your sponsor, and if they're not a manager, with their upline manager, and if you're following all the training in order, you will quickly move to be a professional, even when you're brand new in the business. So at this early stage, people go, well, do you know what, I think I'm going to run out of people if I put everybody down on my list, or I don't know many people. Remember, me in the beginning, it wasn't that I put down the people that I know, I put down the people that I thought would be interested or might want to try the product. Amateurs are forever thinking, oh, what if people say no, or I don't think I can do this. You know what, all of these reactions on the screen there are very natural to have in the first instance. However, what we want to do is we want to quickly move past them, because we're going to look at the way you as a professional within your own business will operate. So professionals keep a full pipeline. You know, the thing is, there is always people that we can get to know. So, okay, let me give you an example. Somebody who's been in the business a few years or many years will probably not still be working. They will a little bit, but in the main, they'll not be working with their original list. They started off, say, like we did all those years ago with it. But you know what? I'm always meeting new people, making friends, hooking up with people on Facebook, developing relationships. I might be joining a new class or meeting new people at the gym, or whatever instances. As a professional networker, I see it as part of my role is to connect with people. Again, when you're showing the business, you know, there's always going to be people who say no, but there's always going to be people who say yes. And you just need to get good at showing it. Obviously, a professional has the attitude of, I can do this however long it takes me to get good. Remember, it's not a race. You've got the support not only of your sponsor, the upline manager, ourselves, the whole of Global Choices group, and also the company as well. You've got the support of a lot of people, and we're here to help you get to where you want to go, no matter how long that takes you. Some people go really quickly in the business, some take a more scenic route. This is for you to decide what you want out of your business. And also, we need to have the attitude that there will always be people to talk to. And there will, believe me, there is always people to talk to about the business. So, for example, I might be having a conversation today with Fred, who I actually showed in the business 6 months ago, but the time wasn't right for him then. Doesn't stop me pipelining him and getting in touch with him, 3 to 6 months down the line, because circumstances change. I might touch base with Fred today only to learn that he's getting made redundant shortly, or actually he's lost his job, or he's fed up and he really wants to revisit and have a look at something else. So just remember, just because you spoke to somebody and it wasn't the right time doesn't mean that you can't go back to them. So we're always going to have people to speak to. We need to have more than one source of contact. So let's have a look at what they are. Hot. What's a hot contact? That's somebody that you know super well. You wouldn't even have to introduce yourself on the phone. They would know who you were immediately you opened your mouth. It's people that we've grown up with. It's family members. It's best friends. So it's people really hot to us. Kind of your hot and your warm market. They're the type of people that if you needed a favour at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're stranded on the motorway, that's the person who you pick up the phone to. Now, warm, they're like your hot, but perhaps you don't know them as well, but you do know them, people that you've worked with a few years ago that you sporadically keep in contact with. It might be people on your Christmas card list who you actually know quite well, but you don't have a lot to do with because you live in different parts of the world or the country. But they're warm. Again, you could pick up the phone and say, "Hi, Fred, it's Kathy," and Fred immediately knows who you are. Lukewarm. Now, lukewarm people are those people that we're getting to know. So, for example, people I meet at the gym, perhaps we just say hi to each other, or we have a bit of a chat, or, pass the time of day. And the more often I see that person at the gym, they've gone from being a cold market person, i.e. somebody I didn't know, to somebody that we've introduced to ourselves, we know a bit about each other. And when I said to you that professionals always have people to talk to, turning people who were once strangers into lukewarm, people that you can have a chat with, that you can, have a meaningful conversation with, you can turn them into warm. And some of those will become very hot. Cold. What's cold? A cold market person is somebody that you absolutely don't know. I'm going to be really honest with you. I rarely would open up a conversation asking somebody to look at the business if they were stone cold to me. I want to take that cold contact if they're promising, if I feel that there's some mileage in it. Now, I don't mean this rude. I don't want to have a conversation with people purely just to go, well, am I going to put them into my lukewarm category? Am I going to get to know this person, or am I just going to discard them? It's not that. When I'm talking to somebody who's cold, I'm wanting to understand a bit about them, the motivated, or the bit of a go-getter, or the type of person that's in the market for change. But again, I'm just going to reiterate, it would be, I think, hell may freeze over before I would ever just pounce on somebody with the business when I don't know them. Because remember, that's a bit like asking somebody to marry you 2 minutes into your first date with them. It's probably not going to be, it's probably not going to get the best reception. So, more than one source of contact. Now, we talked about building up your list, writing down people, anybody and everybody that you've met, so you can put all your friends on Facebook down on there. Remember, this is a neck top exercise. We are not judging people at any stage of the process, and I'm going to show you why in a moment. So what we need to do is, in First Steps to Manager, there is a memory jogger, so you can have a read through that. This neck top exercise, remember, I mistakenly just put down the people that I thought would be interested, not everybody I knew. And that's what we want to help you to do, is to build this database. And again, on the Power Hour, in the first couple of weeks, we'll look at lot. It's showing you how to expand your database. Okay then, so it's about opening up your mind, writing down all those people that you've ever met. Who are these people? Facebook friends, people in your mobile phone, Christmas card list. You might be attached to some pages, say, where you went to college or uni or school, all those people that perhaps you don't know now, but remember, we're not judging them. All we're going to do is write down these people and the details on our database so that we can start expanding it. And we must learn. So, for example, let's say you've got, your database has got 100 names on it. We're going to talk about profiling because I want to show you how to take what is just a list of names and numbers and turn them into people. Okay? Now, we know that those names and numbers are people, but what I mean by that is I don't want you just rattling through a lot of names and numbers, treating people all the same. Sure, we're showing these people the same business or the same product, but if we profile them properly, it is invaluable. And I don't mind sharing with you, in the beginning, I missed out the step of profiling. When my sponsor showed me how to do this and why to do it, what was the benefits, I actually didn't take a lot of notice because in my mind I was thinking, well, I know these people really well. Why do I need to write a profile on them? I know who they are. However, I sure learned a lesson when I felt that I wasn't getting anywhere, and it was because I wasn't getting on the same page as the person, and that's what profiling is all about. So, look at profiling in a second, and as I say, on the Power Hour, we do such a lot where that's concerned. Major in your warm market. Why do we say that? We definitely did. It's what got us to manager and beyond. And we talked about, who are these people that you can put on your database? There's some ideas on screen there. Now, remember in the beginning, I'm going to go back to the fact that I put around about 25 people on there, thinking that that's the ones that would be interested, or perhaps think, no, well, I don't need a lot of people on there. In fact, I only know 25 people. Think about if you've ever had a party, it might be an engagement party, a 21st, a 50th, whatever age, it might be a wedding. Do you know what? Anybody planning an event like that actually struggles to get the list of people that they're going to invite down to a reasonable number. We never have trouble inviting people to a party or an event. So therefore, we wouldn't have any bother putting them down on our database. So think about college and school. I mentioned your Christmas card list, mobile phone. Some people still have an address book. I know it's quite rare. You might be a young mum that goes to a toddler group. What about all the parties you've been to in the past, on the parties that you've thrown? Any organisations that you're involved with? For guys, it might be going cricket or football, or for the girls, it might be salsa dancing. Being sexist there, because it didn't mean to. Men do salsa as well. Think about those activities that you do when you've got some downtime, and all the people that you know there, because you've got potential people who at some point, if not now, may very well be interested in making some changes in their life. And that's the bit about building a team, getting good at showing people information. Now, we are in the business of conversational marketing. Again, on the Power Hour, we talk about contact marketing, which is a way of going out specifically to target people. However, we all have busy lives, and we are all chit-chatting as we go through our busy lives. What is different now when you've got your own business is that instead of just having those conversations with people, before we're in business, we had a conversation when we were in line at the bank or the supermarket. We'd probably chat about the weather, how good it is, how not so good it is, or how long it's taken to get served, etc., etc. Now, when you're conversational marketing with people, do it with a purpose. Find out some information about that person. Are they the type of person that resonates with you and that you want to make some contact with? So go fishing, as they say. Ask people, what do they do? Are they happy? Again, I'm going to refer to the Power Hour, because the Power Hour, again, it's a 5-week series, and that's run live. It's not on the training site here as a recording. It's run continuously throughout the team live, and every week you will learn the skills, the techniques, and even the words to say to people. So get in the habit of speaking to people, finding out, a bit more about them, and staying in contact with those people that resonate with you. There is also, if you look to the bottom right, there might be in your area a specific networking group. They're one of the biggest ones I can think of at the moment is the BNI here in the UK. There's also a group organisation called 4, the number 4 networking. Again, big up and coming group where you can actually touch base with other people, go along to the meetings, might be weekly or fortnightly, and it's a way of showcasing your business and your products in a professional environment. Facebook. Now, we do have a specific training on Facebook, and again, we cover this on the Power Hour, which I keep mentioning. Just a few do's or don'ts here. These are real basics. You actually need to understand how to use social media correctly, and we have trainings on that. Also, right from the beginning, your sponsor is going to help you with this, or your upline manager, and we have a great app called FLP Social, which will help you raise awareness of your business and if you want your products online. But let's have a look a little bit in general about Facebook. Do use it to find people that you've known throughout your life and perhaps lost contact with, because it's a huge database. It's not about just jumping on somebody and pitching them with the business. Use it to re-establish contact with people that you've known and start building up relationships, because that's the business that you're in. You're in the business of building up relationships. Do use private messages if you want to swap numbers with people. Oh, that's obvious, isn't it? And do use it to attract people to be interested in you and what you're doing. So what do I mean by that? If you went to my Facebook page, my personal page, you won't see products on there, or very, very rare. I might do a brunch picture with my smoothie, but I don't advertise products on my personal page because it is my personal page. I do have a business page, and if people like my business page, well, they've put the hand up and they've liked it, knowing that it's a business page with business posts on. On my personal page, remember, Facebook is a social site. It's not a sales site per se. So that's why I don't really do a lot of products on Facebook, but you can if you've got a dedicated page. Again, FLP Social, what we can subscribe to with the company social media app means that we can post on there, we can schedule a post, but also it's a great check in the fact that it keeps us, it gives ideas for content and pictures, images, which are all compliant, and we really need to be that. So my own personal mantra, to be honest, is if you look at my Facebook page, you'll see it's about the things I like doing. I love cooking, so I often have foodie pictures on there. I love traveling, so just like even if I wasn't with Forever, I would be putting my holiday pictures on there, or my travel pictures. I love to get out and about and socialise, so that's what you'll find on my page. What about the do nots? Don't continually have posts about your business, your products. Now, I'm not saying that you can't. Personally, I recommend people have a business page and a dedicated product page if you want to do that. But if you're putting anything on your personal page, remember the 80-20 rule. 80% is it's about you and your life and what you're up to and what you're interested in, and you know how you're contacting and communicating with people. 20%, if you want to put some business stuff on there, use the 80% as you, 20% business. If you do it the other way around, I guarantee you will turn people off. It's just a right, so, oh gosh, she's banging on about her business again. Does she ever shut up? You don't want people to feel that when they're looking at your page. Don't use Facebook to openly pitch the public. It doesn't work. And just because you see other people doing it or other companies doing that, there's nothing worse than seeing posts continually. I'm not going to name any other companies. I can specifically think of two companies. I see a lot in my news feed. Buy, join, me, us, amazing. You don't want that to be how people view you. Again, we've got dedicated Facebook trainings and we cover a lot of this on the Power Hour, so you really need to be having those two under your belt. So no pitch in the public, it doesn't work. Remember, it's a social site. Most of us go on Facebook because if we really admit it, we're nosy and we want to see what other people are up to. Don't swear on there or upload unsuitable pictures or posts. Again, if somebody is looking at you because they like the look of what you're posting on your page and they think, oh, this person's got a really good lifestyle, or seem to be off travelling and doing this, that and the other, I wonder what they do. Let's say this person starts to follow you on Facebook and they're looking at your posts. What they don't want to see suddenly pop up as you're falling out of a nightclub into the gutter and somebody vomiting behind you, or worse, okay? So remember that people will look at you on Facebook, and that will be an indication in their mind if you're the type of person that they want to contact, especially where the business is concerned. Again, it says at the bottom, Power Hour and Facebook training, it's essential for you to get to grips with that. So we talked about those different markets, hot, warm, lukewarm, cold. Even now, cold market is less than 20% of our business. Now, that's not because I don't want to talk to strangers. Remember when we looked at the slide, I don't want to pitch somebody who's cold. I want to turn cold market people into lukewarm and warm. And when I understand them and we've got a friendship and a relationship, when it's appropriate, I can show them the business. However, you might have some adverts out there on a notice board, or you might have got some flyers out of the parent and toddler group, or you've got perhaps an online advert, you're putting your video out there. There's lots of ways that people may contact you. It might even be, through Facebook because they like the look of your lifestyle. So I'm not saying don't talk to them, but you need a specific skill set, because with cold market, there's no trust and rapport like there is with your warm market. But you can't ignore the fact that there is cold market people out there who are looking for a business. Again, we cover cold market on the Power Hour. Remember, what you're doing now is early days, very essential induction into the business and to where you're going to go through your first few weeks and your first few months. The Power Hour mirrors this, but it's an actual live weekly session where you can do activities at the time, okay? So if I keep mentioning it, it's because it's really important. Speak to your sponsor about this part of the business. You might be part of an organisation where you think, well, there's lots of people there that I don't know very, very well, but sure, they might be interested in the business. Your sponsor is going to help you be appropriate in each marketplace that you're in. Remember, I said when you're doing your neck top exercise, i.e. you're getting names and numbers down on your database, it's not for us to prejudge. I said that about, I put people down at the beginning who I thought would be interested. I'm going to share with you now, in 9 out of 10 instances, I was wrong. Those people I thought would be interested weren't. People I thought would never remotely be interested were. Some were interested in the business, some the product, some both, some neither, some great sources of referral. But guess what? At the beginning, till I understood how to profile, I didn't know who was who, did I? So don't decide for other people. The average family has credit card debts of nearly £8,000 here in the UK. These are stats that I took offline. I didn't just fake them up, by the way. Imagine that. A lot of people are going to work and they're earning money and they're paying their way and they're still in debt, because often when we have a job, not many people in the job have a lot of surplus income. So don't decide for other people. Somebody might want to look at this business for a part-time income on top of their job income so they can get out of debt. The population, not just in the UK but worldwide, is living longer. And there is a big pension crisis. A lot of people, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but if you're online and you're under the age of 35, possibly when you are 70, there'll be no such thing as a government pension. Everything will be private. Now, remember, we can build up a royalty-style income, just very much like a pension means. You don't have to worry about what happens when you decide to stop working your business and take a backseat a bit. You've got a royalty that's coming in month after month. Graduates, let's see. A lot of people go to university because we're told to get a good education and get a job for life. Unfortunately, a job for life doesn't exist anymore. And higher education, especially uni, means a lot of people are leaving university after 3 to 4 years, and they're generally in around about £10,000 to £15,000 worth of debt. They've got massive student loans. Look at what happens when graduates are applying for a job. 142 in the banking sector for every single vacancy. In the retail sector, there's 154 graduates applying for one vacancy. Across the board in other sectors, lots of different avenues, around about 73 graduates applying for each job. That might be in a shop in a or locality, it might be McDonald's, it might be in an office, it doesn't matter where it is. There is a lot of people graduating and they're not only not getting a job in what they've studied, they're struggling to get a job at all. In the age group of 45 to 65, unemployment in the last 4 years plus has doubled. What happens, and it's really quite sad, nobody admits it, but we're pretty much an ageist society. Younger people are generally cheaper to hire and they're more malleable in the fact that they'll do whatever. In the 45 to 65 age group, what happens is, let's say we'll take a guy, he's age 45 to 50, he's been doing a job since he was in his 20s and he gets made redundant. Unfortunately, because of the age group he's in, that guy or girl is probably going to struggle for the next 20 years to get anything like long-term employment. Sure, they'll get lots of as and when and short-term contracts, but generally in that age group, so even if you're young, don't think that this is a business that's just for younger people. It's for people of all ages. It's really sad to see that what happened in the financial and property crash in the 90s has equally happened again, which is people are losing their homes because they can't afford their mortgages. And a lot of people are stuck in the trap of living somewhere, paying their mortgage, but the value of the house has gone down rapidly, so they've actually got no equity in that. Think about it. When we are putting our database together, we don't want to judge people because we don't know what goes on behind closed doors, do we? So it's about not judging it. When I say judging, I don't mean that you judge them from a moral perspective. I mean, let's not make up our minds for them. Profiling. let's just briefly look at this, because this is something that you need to sit down and do, and your sponsor will certainly be going through this with you. In your first steps to manager, remember your training Bible, you'll find the profiling sheets. On screen there's a book, possibly one of the best books that I've read about the industry that we're in of network marketing, but also it has got some great ideas and strategies and top tips in there to help us sort through our who, do and know list. Remember, we're sorting, we're sifting people, and we're profiling them. So why do we profile people? When I'm speaking to somebody, let's say I'm speaking to Fred this morning and Bob this afternoon, and I'm going to show both of them the business. As I mentioned earlier, for sure, we're showing them the same business with the same products and the same options, but I want to speak to Fred from Fred's point of view, and I want to speak to Bob from Bob's point of view. Just because they're both guys doesn't mean they've got both the same. There'll be different ages, different family circumstances, different financial aspirations. And when you profile people, it literally means you're getting on the same page as them. And there is nothing like honouring the person that you're speaking to by focusing on them. And that's what profiling is going to help you do. We're not, as I say, going to go through it per se on here, but I do recommend really quite strongly that you get the book Owning Yourself, because it is brilliant. And also I want you to sit down, if it's not us, I want you to sit down with your sponsor, applying manager, and go through the practicality of how to do a profile. It literally takes seconds. So we are on, I want to prepare you, because you're new in the business if you're watching these induction series, week 2. Building a business, whether it's with Forever or whether it's a traditional business, you might already have your own business outside of Forever. You know what, it is an emotional roller coaster. We're getting started, we're doing something which for most of us is something brand new that we've never done before. And there's going to be ups and downs, and that's life, isn't it? So 95% of people won't think like you or don't think like you. And what do I mean by that? Again, I'm not being rude to those 95%. You're obviously entrepreneurial, that's why you've started your own business with Forever. 95% of people maybe think about doing stuff like that, but not many will actually go on to do what you are prepared to do, which is getting control of your own life. Life will always test you, not just business. We all in life will test you to see if we're really serious, have we got the commitment to go after what we said we wanted. No doubt about it, you will have setbacks, you will make mistakes. Working closely within the team means there'll be safe mistakes. We wouldn't let anybody fall off the edge of a cliff. However, we all make mistakes and have setbacks. It doesn't matter. It's part and parcel of it. And you know what? I guarantee that if somebody tells you in their career they've never been tempted to give up on a bad hair day, well, they tell fibs about other things too, because you will be tempted to say at some point, I'm not sure that this works, or it doesn't work. But we will help you, because we all need to learn how to discipline our disappointments. What does that mean? So I've made an appointment or set some time aside to get together with Bob this afternoon to show him the business. Bob rings me last minute. Oh, he's got something else on. I'm a bit disappointed, but you know what? I've got to discipline it. Bob might be ringing up and say, Kathy, I'd love to get together this afternoon, but work's called in and somebody's gone sick and I've got to go in, or something happens within the family. You know what, it can be a disappointment, but we just get over it. So we need to train ourselves, if you like, and to control our thoughts. Again, there's one of the books that we recommend, Dave O'Connor, all on mindset, and we've got mindset training on here. So we're going to help you with things like this, because remember, most of us are coming into this business and we're brand new at doing something like this. So we need to be prepared to learn, not only learning like this and within the team and within the company, but also from our own experience. If you've banged your head against a particular wall and it hurts, don't go repeat the exercise. Find something else to put in its place. We have to put the time and effort in, and we're going to look at what that means in a second. Now, the good news is, you know what, most of us do enjoy a good roller coaster, going up and down, and it's a bit scary and it's a bit exhilarating. I always say that, you know what, in a business like ours, the antidote to the down parts is just develop a healthy sense of humour. You know what, we're in a business where it's not life or death. If somebody turns you down, you're not going to curl up on the floor and roll around and lose your life, and they're not going to neither if they say no. So just remember, again, and I can speak from my own personal experience, I take my business serious, and I take the business of coaching and developing other people very seriously, but I don't take myself seriously. There's nothing like having a good old belly laugh, and you can do that with business. So it's fun to work with people who are like yourself, positive and self-motivated. Now remember, we've mentioned a few times that network marketing is front-loaded. And I see by the title that I can't actually spell the word network, so it just shows you don't have to be mega smart to be successful in a business like Forever. So it's front-loaded. In the beginning, we're putting more time in than we're earning generally. And now a lot of people are online, or most people coming into Forever, they're like myself. I had my job on the go as a nurse when I started building my business. So I was taking bits of time from here, there and everywhere. My first check, my first month in the business, my bonus check was 34 quid. To say I was underwhelmed would be a big understatement. However, what I did think, and why was I underwhelmed? I earned more than that, as an hourly rate as a specialty nurse. So it wasn't that the money meant that much to me, but what it did mean is I thought, right, and I had only been in the business 2 weeks. I wasn't there the full month before I got my bonus check. I thought, I've only been in the business a couple of weeks. It's such a big learning curve. I'm learning lots, but I've generated that £34 now. I haven't really done a great deal. So I was happy to know that if I could generate £34, I could turn it into £340. I would turn that into 3,400 and beyond. So in the beginning, you're putting a lot of time and effort in, and you might think, is it worth it? You'll soon get to a point where, especially when you're team building, remember we get paid from the company when we're team building, that you can see the fruits of your labour and you think, yep, it's worth it. And then you get to a point in your career where you think, wow, I'll take my foot off the gas, but look what I'm getting paid. How much is that worth? So, just get to grips with, this is like, building a business is like anything else. It's like if you plant a tomato seed today in a little pot on the windowsill, you don't expect to get up tomorrow and see fruit on the vine. You're going to have to water it, you're going to feed it, you're going to make sure it's got the right temperature and enough light. In short, you're going to nurture the plant. You need to nurture your business too. Is it all about money with Forever? Absolutely not. Can you earn a good income with Forever? Of course you can. You can earn a life-changing income. We spoke about that in the beginning. But having your own business with Forever, for me, on the screen, this is what it represents. Time with the people. If you look to the bottom right, time with people that you care about, your family, your friends, having the freedom, not only financial freedom. Now, for some people, financial freedom might be £500 a month. It might be £5,000 a month. It's not the monetary amount, it's having the freedom to have choices within your life, whether that's living in the home of your dreams, being able to pay off your mortgage, perhaps helping the kids through university so they don't get into debt, having holidays on a regular basis. Most people slave away for 50 weeks of the year and they're hanging on in there for the 2 weeks in the sun. And a lot of people have to go into debt. Remember that credit card debt to be able to afford a decent holiday. We've got the ability to help people change their lives in more ways than just financial. And you know what the thing is, I guarantee in your business, whatever your financial marker is, you'll get to the point where it becomes much more than just about money. It's about helping people. You can change lives, whether it's with the products or helping people build a significant business or even a top-up income. So know that when you're in it for the long haul, it gets way beyond just the money, but you can earn a really, really great income with Forever. Now then, if you want to be successful, you need to have a plan. If we plan to fail, well, you know what? If we fail to plan, we're planning to fail. So a 7-day plan, again, look in your first steps to managing, you'll find it in there. Your sponsor will be sitting down with you in your planning sessions and showing you how to fill this out. You're going to make a list of the calls that you're going to make each day of the week. You might be doing 4 days a week in your business, you might be doing 7 days, you might only have 3 days. We could all spare 5 or 10 minutes, I personally believe, on a daily basis to make a couple of calls. So list your calls for the week. You need to plan your activity where your product launches are concerned, where your pub drops are concerned. Now, a pub is a personal use product pack. If you've not come across it yet, I'd suggest that you check out your product manual. You'll see it in there. And we also have training on here about that, which I'm sure you will be coming to once you get through your induction. Put down the trainings. You might be going to your local business presentation, it might be an online business presentation, it might be a company webinar, a team webinar, or any other activities that you've got related to your business. Because your sponsor needs to have a copy of this. I ask people who I'm working with to send it to me on a Sunday evening so that when I'm catching up with them or doing planning sessions during the week, I've got that to hand to refer to. You definitely need it yourself. I guarantee that if you haven't got this, you'll be a bit like a paper bag in the wind. You'll be all over the shop. Also, we have a points activity sheet, which is under the file section on the team page. And as you see, for anything you're doing, which is anything to do with your business, whether you're phoning somebody, whether you're doing a planning session, whether you're sponsoring, you're doing a product launch, you've got a new customer, you can award yourself points. So, and across the top, it gives you an indication as to where you're heading, you know. If somebody's got 35, I would suggest that that's the lowest score that you want to see. It's an absolute pride goal in the fact that once you've achieved that, you wouldn't want to drop below it. Looking at a score sheet like this, good, 65 points, very active. A diamond manager in the making for somebody who's got 100 points. Now remember, this is something that you'll start off maybe on week one and you've only got a couple of points. You want to work it up and your sponsor's going to help you. Okay then, so we're coming to the end now and we need to knit this together, because if you put into practice what you're learning on the Essential Induction series, you will earn money with your business, and that's what we all want to do. We didn't come into the business to purchase a business pack and not turn it into an income. So make sure that you've got your 7-day plan done on paper, write it out, send it to you. If it's not us, send it to your sponsor, your blind manager who you're working with. Make sure that you do this every week. You need a plan every week. In your first 10 days, your sponsor's going to get your product launches booked in and a home business launch. That is so that your sponsor, again, if it's not us, can actually show you how to make some money with the product launch, but also the simplicity of it so that you can do it yourself after you've done those two, and also how to show the business if you want to get a few friends around at home. Perhaps the local business presentation in your area is only on every couple of weeks or whatever, and you don't want to wait 2 weeks. So your sponsor is going to show you how to do this. Expand your database. I would suggest, and again, I'm going to mention the Power Hour series where we specifically show you exercises on how to do it. It's a very simple, short task to get 5 new people on your database and expanding your database every day. Profile, remember, it is mega, mega, mega important that you profile people. Speak to 3 to 10 people a day. Now, 3 might be if you're very part-time in the business, you're running around your job. 10 might be somebody who they might still be running around their job, but they're massively keen on getting to where they want to go in a short space of time. Okay? Speak to people about the business on a daily basis. And if you do that for your first 6 to 8 weeks in the business, I guarantee you'll have a budding little team beneath you. Practice and use the 5 solid gold questions. We spoke about them last week, and we recommended a book, which you will see on the book and CD section on the pod here. Make sure that you're putting some time into business materials, whether it's CDs that you listen to in the car or you're reading a chapter of a business book before you go to sleep when you wake up. Put 30 minutes in each day to develop yourself. Again, last week we spoke about one of the most important areas for us to get to grips with is developing ourselves, working on ourselves. Also get your vision board together. We spoke about that on session 1. So if you're here on session 2, I know that you've done session 1, post it on the team page if you haven't already, and make a commitment to post it this week as soon as you can. But don't leave it more than 7 days from today. Make sure you get your vision board on there so we can all have a look and cheer each other on. And also, I suggest that every time you're on a training such as this, first of all, congratulations, you've got another part of the jigsaw piece in place, if you like, but make sure that when you finish this, you know what your next event is. It might be a team event, it might be a company event, it might be an area event, it might be online, it might be in person. Make sure you know what's happening training-wise and that you're booked and registered for the next event. Okay, then what's your next step after this? The next step is watching Induction Session 3. What I want to do is, first of all, congratulate you for cracking on and getting these sessions under your belt. Make sure that each session that you attend, you take plenty of notes and you put what you've learned into action. Obviously, when you've done this series, the 5 induction sessions, you can go back to them at any time and have a relook. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day, whatever time of day it is you're sitting watching this, whether it's morning or evening or whatever country you're in. Have a great day and thanks for your company. See you soon. Bye-bye.